Okay, here's an argument that's been teasing me a little bit recently. It's one I've heard in a variety of guises, and I'm going to call it the argument of consistency, which is to say that consistency in the universe infers some kind of deity, some kind of entity that is going to either maintain the consistency or provided that consistency from the get-go. And the argument isn't usually couched in these terms of consistency, but in terms of science works or logic works or maths works. And for these systems to work, there has to be a God. And if you look behind the question there, what is the thing that underpins all these things? Well, it's consistency, isn't it? We have to have some expectation of consistency of output, either on the individual level or at least on the statistical level. I'm thinking of quantum events there, for the whole system to hold together, and that it's God that provides this consistency. You know, I find this a really fascinating argument. The first reason I find it a fascinating argument, and the reason it wrong foots so many people, is it's made as if this is an argument we should find intuitive, and yet it's exactly the opposite. The things we usually expected to explain away are things that aren't consistent, not consistency itself. It's usually inconsistency, miracles that are seen as signs of deistic action, not the lack of miracles. You know, nobody's ever said to me, Jim, you know, there's a church somewhere in southern Italy and there's a statue of Jesus Christ in there that stood there for 300 years, and for 300 years this statue hasn't dripped a single drop of blood, and then all of a sudden last Saturday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon a group of people witnessed it continue not to drip blood. I mean, we wouldn't regard that as miraculous or as anything worthy of explanation, isn't it? That's exactly what we would expect. Consistency is usually the thing that doesn't require explanation, and that's why this argument wrong foots people, because all of a sudden it's saying, oh no, this is actually what is required, what is requiring an explanation. It is counterintuitive. But of course we need to be careful not to take this idea of counterintuitivity too far. I mean, if we're living in a consistent universe, then we've evolved for hundreds of millions of years with the expectation of consistency. So really our expectation, our intuitive expectation of consistency is probably more a function of that evolutionary heritage. That's why we have that expectation. It's not some absolute primacy of consistency over inconsistency. That much I accept. What I don't accept is an argument that rings more true when it's presented the other way round than the way round it is presented. The way round it is presented, as we've already gone over, is that consistency exists within the universe, so there must be some kind of celestial consistency provider or maintainer. But imagine if we lived in an inconsistent universe. What would the theist say? The theist would say something along the lines of, well, you accept we live in an inconsistent universe. What do you think the source of this inconsistency is? What is it that keeps making all these seemingly random things happen all the time? Well, the thing that makes these things happen all the time is what we call God. You wouldn't see these inconsistencies if there wasn't some entity there to provide that inconsistency. That's certainly a more intuitive argument to us, but nobody proposed this argument to a number of people. Nobody has been able to make a compelling case to me while that argument is redundant, while the argument that they propose is valid. Maybe one of you can come up with something on those grounds. Anyway, I'll leave that argument with you. Thank you for watching this video, and bye for now.